Good evening. It's a great honor to be with you tonight and a great pleasure to host a guy that I know almost 40 years or something, General Gabi Ashkenazi. General Ashkenazi gave most of his adult life to the security of Israel. He grew up in the IDF. He took place in all the main junctions and the challenges that we used to have since '82. Used to be in Antebbe, used to be the commander of Golani Brigade, used to be commander of the division in Lebanon, used to be commander of the Northern Command, deputy chief of staff during his time that he was the chief of staff, something tiny, like to attack the Syrian reactor and to take down such a huge challenge to the state of Israel was under his command. Then foreign minister, and today in the private sector. We are so honored that you are with us. General Ashkenazi, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Zohar. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor. I see many familiar faces. I will not name every one of them, not to skip one, but it's an exciting event for me, and I'll tell you why. About, I think, less than 20 years ago, maybe 18, 19 years ago, a very good friend of mine, we consider him as a family member. When I was chief of staff, I think it was like 2007, maybe 6, and he asked me, what about the idea of creating an organization in Europe, which will educate young politician, bringing them to Israel to understand what's going on, etc. I said it's a great idea. And here we are, 18 years forward. You know who was this gentleman? Larry Hochberg. So, Larry, it's not a baby anymore, it's an adult organization. As a former foreign minister, I can tell you that unfortunately, unlike many Israelis, I'm really appreciate what you do in this important theater. Not everything is the United States. Europe is very important to us. It's not only the largest trade partner of Israel, it's still an important theater. So bringing politicians, parliament members to Israel to get to know the situation on the ground, really, not through just biased information, whatever. It's something which is a great importance. So I know you're doing this job, and I want to thank you. I know that we're giving you a hard time from time to time, but don't give up. We will prevail. So thank you very much.
So there are so many balls in the air right now, so many challenges. With your perspective and your experience, how you think that the states of Israel have to prioritize the most important issue that we have to deal with them in those days?
Well, from a national defense perspective, definitely the most important issue is Iran. But the most urgent issue is Gaza. And I think it's connected, given what's happening in the Middle East, Trump visit to the region, all the agreements, and I think definitely we have to solve the issue in Gaza. Probably we'll discuss about it in a minute. But Iran is the most challenging issue for a simple reason. This is the only potential existential threat to the state of Israel. And I think no government Israel, right, left, center, whatever, full right, full left, no government will accept a nuclear Iran. Imagine the 7th of October under an Iranian nuclear umbrella. Can you imagine what would have happened then? So we cannot do it. Hopefully, it will be solved through diplomacy. And if not, we will have to use a military option. That's very simple. Because we don't have any other alternative. And I think it's a consensus in Israel. So in order to to be ready for that, I think we have to end to get the hostages back. These 24 hours in Doha, I think, are crucial. It's not all for all agreement. It's Witkoff's proposal, which basically half of the life, some of the dead, for 60 or more days of ceasefire, and then during these 60 days, negotiating the end of the war. I think in Gaza as well, what we need to do in phase one is bring the hostages for the price of stopping for ceasefire, but ending the war, it's equal to dismantling Hamas. We should not allow reconstruction without demilitarize, dismantling Hamas, and making sure that the governance of Gaza will not be Hamas, will be something with Arab coalition member, with some maybe practitioner technocrats from Gaza, which we know, and with the freedom to act, whatever it's not the case, like we are doing in Lebanon. So I think in order to deal with the main threat, we have to solve Gaza, and then to integrate in the region, and with the United States to get an understanding about Iran.
You have so much experience during the Abraham Accords and after it when you've been the foreign minister. You used to have good friends in the Gulf. After President Trump's visit right now in the Gulf, when you saw the spirit, what's going on over there, basically inside, because you know the people and you know the atmosphere in the Gulf, what you were feeling regarding normalization with the Saudis, the Emiratis, and all the Arab friends that we have in the regions?
Well, many people in Israel are not feeling very comfortable about Trump's visit in the region, in the sense that we were not there, we have to admit. And I'm sure you know that our special relationship with the United States for many, many years, it's a cornerstone, a very important pillar in our national security defense. And the perception, maybe the perception in the Middle East that if you want to go to Washington, you don't have to go to Jerusalem anymore. It's something that we, I think, have to correct. We have and must join this train of opportunities to integrate in the region. Normalization with the Saudis, to be more involved with the negotiation with the Iranian, and even to foster the northern front of Israel, which I think also represent an opportunity. And I think the way to do it is to solve Gaza and to come with an initiative which I call the Great Bargain, how to negotiate with Iran, to make progress to a normalization with Saudis, maybe to pay with a Palestinian coin, not a state. Nobody in Israel is willing to hear about it, but to pay some price and to continue what we are doing in the north. As one who grew up in the north, I'm telling you there is a huge opportunity there. We have to support Lebanon. We are operating whenever they are not fulfilling the agreement. I think the key there is the money, and I hope that the European states, France, others, and the American will provide the money to the government, and they provide it to the people, not Hezbollah, not through Hezbollah. That's a key. Syria. We saw this new leader of Syria visiting Riyadh. I think what happened in Syria is an opportunity as well. We have to be vigilant, but this guy is not allowing Iranian to enter and entrench in Syria. They see Hezbollah as an enemy. Partners of the previous regime, Assad regime, slaughtering Syrian, slaughtering their brother. They still try to block the border, and by no way they are not going to give weapons to Hezbollah. I think there is a mistake about the weaponry that Hezbollah had. Most people think it's come from Iran. That's not true. More than 80% of the rockets and the missiles that Hezbollah had, gladly, came from Syrian military depots, not from Iran. But with this guy, there is no way he's going to rearm Hezbollah. So I think we have to be vigilant. We have present in Syria, we have a good defensive line along the Golan High and a buffer zone. And we will have to make progress step by step. If he will continue to stabilize and protect the minorities and making steps towards reconstruction of Syria, I think we have to support it. And I think there is a chance to do it. I'm not that concerned with the Turks. They don't have the money for reconstruction in Gaza. That will come from the Gulf countries, the Saudis, the UAE, I guess. And in return, they will gain more influence in this country, which is basically Sunni majority. And with no real radical religious history. So on the one hand, you know, things are complicated in my country, but on the other hand, I see many opportunities that the military created after the 7th of October. And I hope that our leadership will seize the moment and realize the opportunity, because I think that's the way to serve in the best way our national interests.
If there is a guy that knows the Israeli society, is you. You saw it in the IDF, and right now there are so many challenges regarding the draft, regarding another operation right now in Gaza, regarding the split in the Israeli society. And I know that you always brought something that is more united. What do you think we should do right now in order to work like one team right now?
Well, I don't want to go in Israeli politics. You know, it's complicated. But I tell you what, I think externally with all the challenges that we have, I think we will basically prevail. It's probably hard to see it right now, but I think next year will be a better year. I think we will sober up in what we can get, what we cannot get, and we'll take the right decision in order to improve our situation, which basically, unfortunately, we had the 7th of October, but if you tour the border of Israel today, after the 7th of October, we have less threat than we had before that. Look at the North, Hezbollah, Syria, look at Gaza, look at the Iranian, which are in the worst situation they ever been since the beginning of the revolution in '79, both internally and externally. What's bothered me is the internal challenges in Israel regarding your questions or drafting the Haredim, going to the military, the judicial reforms, the priority in the budget, and others. I think what I've learned about democracies, that you cannot implement big changes without a large legitimacy and agreement from the public. Maybe you can do it in dictatorship, but not in Israel. And in Israeli political language, large agreement and large legitimacy is a unity government. It's not a minority government. Regardless who will win the next election, if it's not be united without the extreme from the right and the left, we will not be able to fix those problems. So we have to be united. And I think this is our strength. If you ask me what is the real strength of the state of Israel, it's not the amount of F-35, F-16, or M-16s. It's the unity of the government. That's what I learned about this country. See what happened after the 7th of October. People who were on different sides of the aisle because of the reform of the Justice Department, they fought shoulder to shoulder. See this reservist. Had you told me before the 7th of October that reservists in Israel will serve for 250 or 300 days, I would have told you that you don't understand the situation. We have wonderful, wonderful two generations from the age of 18, 20 up to 55, which are really dedicated to this country, and they are willing to sacrifice. And they are sacrificing. Listen, nobody wants to go to war to die. They have family, business, but why they do it? They do it because they fight for a country they want to raise their kid. A Jewish, democratic, secure, legitimate, progress, and prosperous country. That's why they're fighting for. So that's why I'm more optimistic than most of my friends when they look in Israel. We will correct what's going on right now, and I'm a strong believer of the Israeli societies and nations, and there are many examples for that. It's a very striving and living society. Take the city of Tel Aviv. I think no city, modern city in the face of the earth are bombarded as Tel Aviv, now weekly. And the real estate in Tel Aviv is still go up. See the rate of births in Israel, not because of the Haredim. By the way, in the Arab mothers, it's going down. The Jewish secular mother, for the last 4 or 5 years, bringing more than 3 kids. The rate of births in Israel is almost 3. See what happened in Europe. What's all of that telling you? People are willing to have a Jewish, democratic, modern, open, just, legitimate state. I think that's the reading. That's my read.
In that happy message, let's applause. Thank you so much, General Ashkenazi.
Thank you very much.